Yeah, I mean, I'm aware a lot of brands have used the rainbow color, or I think what each brand or any corporate house, anything has had decided was that they want to be more inclusive in their approach. And I don't think it was just done for the sake of doing it, but I mean, what I know is that most of them, they did it intentionally. They did it with the idea that they realized the value in us. A lot of us are talented in so many respects. Why should that talent be left out just because you belong to a certain minority community? There is no reason that you're missing out on a talent of a person. So I think by giving opportunities to us, they are opening up their own resources, and having more creativity. I mean, I think I would not be wrong in saying we are the most creative people in the world. I always say, when people say that, oh, you homos, and they make fun. I said, imagine a world without gays. It would be absolutely dull, dark, and we are so colorful. I mean, see, look at me, what I'm wearing today. I am a very colorful person. I mean, it's not
Right.
that you guys are you are all black and white. I don't say that. No, no, no. Kind of. I don't mean to be rude, but we are creative. I mean, you look at any industry, fashion, makeup, dance, choreography, it's full of us.
Right.
So by having the brands having anything to kind of signify us, whether it is a rainbow color or it is using the pink color, anything, they mean that they want to include us as well in them, and not discriminate against us. Definitely, a pink economy is very powerful. Pink dollar is very powerful. I have done several sessions. I have taken part in the even in Hong Kong. I was invited to be part of this of the event which was organized. It was called the Economist Pride and Prejudice. It was sponsored by HSBC and various banks and corporates who have been very inclusive, and have been providing a very LGBT friendly environment at the workplace. So I was invited there to talk about the pink economy, pink dollar, and all. And I said that, look, it's very important to open up these the corporates houses and all to be more inclusive, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but World Bank had recently done a study, and the study was specifically based on for India. And the study was when I was in Vegas 3 years back at an event organized by National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. It's called NLGCC, National Lesbian and Gay Chamber of Commerce, had invited me to be a speaker for their event. And during that this event, this study was revealed by the World Bank, which was facilitated by NLGCC, and this study has shown that the economic development of a country like India depends on how much this country is able to recognize the human rights of its citizens. And that made it made a very valid point, because 2017 our law had also not changed. It was changed in 2018. So you can imagine. I mean, the World Bank has proved that, scientifically proved in a study, that if the country really needs to go ahead with economy and economic development, and they need to achieve, in a country like ours, you can't say that we are a well-off country. We are into so much of debts. Already we have taken, I don't know how many millions, billion debts. We are a debt-ridden country. We definitely need to improve our economy. We don't want to go more into debts. And one of the things which the country can do is realizing the value of the pink money, pink economy, which is very powerful. And the other day I was having a Zoom session with a person called Mo. Mo is was a consultant to Joe Biden, who's standing for the presidential election in USA, coming elections against Trump. Now, Mo Vera was telling me that the economy, the pink economy, the pink dollar is so strong in US because there are a number of reasons. See, one thing is that either we are single or we are a couple but will not have any children. Or if we have also, I mean, places like India, of course, you're not allowed, but outside of India, you can adopt children. That is, but both the members of the couple, they are earning a living, and we don't have those responsibilities and those financial responsibilities, I would say, like the heterosexuals have of raising children and educating them and getting them married and so on and so forth. And most of us are even living, we don't live in joint families. We don't have to take care of parents and all that, like, how we all have to do that. So as it to our financial responsibilities get reduced, and at the same time we are earning a good amount of money, and both the members are earning. Like in heterosexuals, it is not necessary. Sometimes the wife earns. Sometimes the wife doesn't earn. It's just the husband is the sole bread earner of the society and the family, and there are a lot of children, a lot of other things, responsibilities to be taken care of. So then even as families also, we have a greater financial position, to add to the pink economy. For a very short duration, once Nepal got rid of the monarchy and it had a government, they had opened the doors for gay marriages, LGBT marriages. So, of course, Nepal is a country where the colonial rule was not there, so they didn't have Section 377 like India had, which was anti-LGBT and all. So, their country, the parliament had recognized same-sex unions, the Nepal parliament, and I know one of the parliamentarians also is a very good friend of mine who had facilitated this. And then what Nepal decided that let's open the doors of Nepal to invite gay couples to come there to Nepal, help them get married, and issue them certificates, and also send them for honeymoon. Now this announcement brought so many gay couples, lesbian couples all over the world flocking to Nepal, and that itself helped Nepal to improve its economic situation so well. I mean, even I was invited. I also got a letter from Nepal government. They said, if you have a boyfriend and if you want to get married with him, please come. We will help you, and we'll help you in whatever manner you want to, and you can have a wedding in Kathmandu. So see, these are the things, and Nepal is also a country where economic situation is not good. I think it's worse than India also. But this small step helped Nepal to improve its economic situation so much that if India would have done, Nepal has Nepal has to offer. Only Nepal has got temples and heritage and Himalayas. We have so much more than Nepal to offer as a tourist destination. If India can do something what Nepal did, imagine how much of economic development in form of foreign currency, foreign exchange, this pink economy we are talking about, pink dollar, so much can be done, if India takes this similar step. So that makes our celebration stronger, and shows that how many people support us. So like I've been attending the Mumbai Prides on a regular basis, and I've seen a lot of corporates, like for example Durex condoms. They had joined hands with the Pride, and they were distributing condoms and things like that during the Pride march. So similarly, if there are other brands which join in and show their support that we care for this community, we understand their issues and all that, then I'm sure it will make a big difference for the brand. It will make a big difference for our movement as well, that we are getting support. These are our allies. These are the corporates which believe in inclusion, and they are helping us mainstream our issues in the society. Yeah, of course, youth is like, see, I mean, now today's youth, if you see, they are more exposed. We have all the social media, and many things are there for them to kind of connect with other people, and they are more aware also. The older generation is definitely rigid about its issues and all, but one thing which I have been trying to do is I have been trying to create allies in all sectors of society, whether you're old, young, whether you're literate, illiterate, or whichever sector, whichever part of the society, whether you're government, non-government, and try to get one person, just one person to accept you and understand you, and willing to openly support you. So that one person will be enough to create difference in that segment. So, for example, if you're talking about the older generation, there are people from the older generation who are extremely supportive. I mean, in my case also, I found people who have been extremely supportive. A very big thing I want to share, you're talking about the old generation. The day I came out on 14th March 2006, everyone in my town opposed me for my coming out because they thought I brought shame and humiliation and all, except one association, which was the Senior Citizens Association of my town of Rajpipla. They sent me a postcard saying that we want to honor you, and I was quite surprised, and the president of the Senior Citizen Association was 90 plus. He was 90 years an old person at that time, and he said, please accept our invitation. We want to honor you for what you have done, because we are not honoring you because you come out as gay, but we are honoring you because you spoke the truth. And they called me, they presented me with a shawl, and they were all above. There were some 70 years plus, some are 80 plus, they were 90 plus. They were all old generation. And that old generation was so supportive. Some of them, the members of that community, actually helped me to reach out to other old, rigid, persons who are conservative and not willing to open their thoughts and minds, and support us and understand us. So that's how you try and build up. You're building the support. Now, there have been certain brands which have actually been boycotted by the LGBT community because their policies are such that they've shown homophobia in their. A very simple example of that is Patanjali. Okay. Now, we all know Patanjali is a brand by Baba Ramdev. Now, Baba Ramdev himself has been a petitioner to our, or not a petitioner, sorry, he has been an appellant. When we won the Delhi High Court judgment, it was Baba Ramdev who ganged up against us and got other religious, spiritual leaders involved, and saying that, homosexuality is a mental disorder and it should be challenged, and how can you give rights to them, and they are mental cases, this, that, and all that. And so, I mean, I was also called, and I also had a fight with him, kind of, on the television. And but now, because of this fact that he's openly shown that he's homophobic, now the entire LGBT community has boycotted Patanjali products. None of us use. Even if I go to a supermarket and I see Patanjali ghee, I will not even look at it. I would rather buy Amul, or I'll buy some other thing, but I will not even touch Patanjali because we don't want to encourage brands. And one thing is there, even though we are a minority, we may be 5%, 10% population, but we have a very strong network in India. So if one person gets affected, the whole India will get affected. And we see that the entire country boycotts that brand because they have openly shown homophobia, and we will not support that brand. We will not even encourage anyone, and not just us. We will also encourage other people, near and dear ones, families, friends, and all that. Please do not use Patanjali. It is a homophobic brand. It's not at all supporting us. It's calling us mental cases, and it's like diseased and all those nonsense. So don't even touch any of this Patanjali stuff, and we will not encourage anyone to do that. So one thing which is good in India, which we have, is that we have a very strong network, and we have a registered network. The network is called INFOSEM. It is an acronym, INFOSEM, Integrated Network for Sexual Minorities. So what happens is that if any incident of this sort happens in India, it immediately comes to the notice of INFOSEM, and INFOSEM, as a registered society, which consists of more than 160 organizations working all over the country and almost in all the states, working exclusively on the sexual minority community, we all unite and we fight that out. I think it's very important that these stereotypes are broken, because even now, like for example, in condom ads, like some condoms ads have done it, but like now, like even the government has started doing that, like for Nirod. Now Nirod is a government owned condom. They've also started breaking the stereotypes and having men and men, showing men and men together. Even I'm there on the condom ad with the government, because they have taken me I'm called the poster boy for the government, because they have used my photographs and my slogans for in their advertisements for safe sex behavior and condoms and all. So that's how I think you are able to get your point and reach out to the masses through this positive, showing very open, positive support. You can show actual community. You don't have to get people to act it out also. Like get transgenders, for example, get hijras, and hijras and transgenders have been used. I've seen pieces of ads and like on the television where they have been used for social promotion of social causes as well, like wearing helmets, seat belts, using condoms, so many things. Get the community involved. That is itself will show the support. That how the government of Gujarat thought to make me the poster boy. I was surprised, when they said they want my photograph for safe sex promotion. I said, why not Amitabh Bachchan? He's already the brand ambassador for Gujarat tourism. They said, no, Amitabh will not work over here. We want you to come, because you are the face of Gujarat. We want you to come on our ads, and they put me all over Gujarat on all the billboards, hospitals, public places, even public toilets are there. My photograph is there in the public urinals also. Just imagine. So I think using a face which is like, say for example, Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi, Gauri Sawant, some famous personality who is out, using them to promote that brand will be definitely more effective, and will definitely encourage a lot of people to use that, and it will show open support that you are using a known face for branding. I think that I'll give you an example. Just recently I was offered there's a new travel company which has been launched last year. It's called Rover Adventures. Now the CEO of Rover Adventures, Rishab, they are into adventure tourism and lot of tourism and all that. And they said, we want to appoint you as the brand ambassador of this travel company, because it's a mainstream company. They have all kinds of travelers, but they now want to focus on LGBT tourism and travel. And they said, we want you to be our brand ambassador, so that you can help. You can, your name sells. So they know that you are our brand ambassador. We will get people to book with us, and we can have travels, different destinations. You suggest to us which are the safe destinations, which the destinations of India which are LGBT friendly from the tourism point of view, and so that kind of a thing. So if the community involvement is there with the branding, with the corporates and all, then definitely that's something which will help the community, and it will help the corporate sector.